Good morning, everybody. I am about to head down to my hangar. Today is the day we're removing the engine. If you don't know what I'm talking about, be sure to check out the video up here in the corner. Talk about what's going on and why we're removing the engine and everything that's applicable with that. So we're gonna go down here. My AMPA is gonna meet me. We're gonna pull the engine off, put it in the back of my truck, and I'm gonna head down to the shop about 2.5 hours away from where my hangar is. And we're gonna get this thing on the road because I'm ready to get Rosie done and back in the air by January 1st, 2023. So hope you'll enjoy this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Support me over at Locals and then flightclub.locals.com. So let's get started and let's get on the road. Okay, we made it to the hangar. Today is the day engine comes off. We got to do a couple more things before my AMPIA gets here. Once he gets here, we're going to pull this engine off. So I'm excited. Let's go ahead and get to it. Go ahead and get the work done. AMP should be down here in about 45 minutes to an hour. And that should be plenty of time for me to finally pull off the last little thing I got to pull off. And then get the hoist set up so we can get the engine off. So let's get to work. Morning.
Morning.
Good flight.
Yeah. Much tailwinds all the way here.
Saw there's a lot of traffic out near Auburn.
Good ground speed. Well, yeah, it was actually pretty busy this morning. Well, Tuskegee's busy too. I actually flew right over them.
Right. Bugs are a constant problem here. Not be on the edge. All right, so this is one more. Is that not gonna fit? No. Oh, let me get this out from right here and let it down. All right. Slide over. So we got the engine off, it's back in my truck, props inside my cab. Tell me what you think about the prop damage, and do you think it meets that AD requirement?
Yeah, so I was a little skeptical at first. You'd sent me some pictures. You can't tell depth of a scratch or depth of a gouge from a picture. So at first I was like, well, we could probably pull the prop off and just file out, whatever damage is back there. But we were discussing the AD and the limits to prop repair and proximity of repairs.
Right.
So from repetitive hits of that landing light and then assembly up front, you've got several gouges in the exact same area. And then upon closer inspection today, seeing the prop in person, there are several gouges in there that I personally would find too deep for an A&P to actually go in and ferret that out without really, I would send it to a prop shop automatically, the gouges in that prop right now on both blades. So the way the rest of the AD goes, if you have enough damage to pull the prop off and have it redone at a shop, you should have the engine looked at and comply with the AD just to check with everything in the back, in the gear area and all the AD stuff. And so you definitely made the right call in getting this process moving forward, getting your quotes from all the engine shops and prop shops and having all that set up and having the engine prepped. The pull today didn't take that long. You're now ready to make your deliveries for the rest of the day. So way to go being on top of everything. And I think you definitely made the right call. Get this engine looked at. And the likelihood of finding something with, the nature of the strike, it's not the ground, it's not something else. There's no damage to the tip of the prop, no slowing of the prop. I think your engine will be okay.
No noticeable slowing, I should say.
No noticeable slowing.
It could have occurred and I just not noticed any type of major change.
Right. I don't think they'll find anything in the engine, but you'll have peace of mind. The engine will have been gone through, not as an overhaul, but if they find any other damage that needs to be replaced, lifters, valves, anything like that, depending on what they go through, they'll take a look. And
so I had some people recommend that just take the prop off, get it overhauled, and just have an A&P, peek inside the engine, check the crankshaft and things like that, and then don't worry about going and actually having an engine shop do a full inspection.
Unless an A&P has some really sophisticated dial indicators and other stuff, run out stuff for that crankshaft, I wouldn't be able to tell if there was any damage inside the engine, me personally. Right. There might be some other guys out there who dealt with this more and know a little bit more and would feel comfortable with doing a more thorough check of the engine. I'm not one of those. If it would have been anybody else, as well in your shoes right now, I would have directed them in the same direction that we've gone with your engine and your prop.
I guess, for me, the biggest concern, obviously, I would love to not have to file an insurance claim and drop 14,000 plus, because obviously I know that's going to affect my own insurance. Yeah. I wouldn't do something to affect my own insurance unless I thought it was necessary. And my biggest concern with this entire thing has been, if y'all remember when I was talking about my story, is the actual landing light assembly didn't depart my aircraft until I landed. So throughout the time where I first noticed a clinging sound, to me landing, that prop was striking the face of that landing light assembly at least 30 times a second, based upon the RPMs, depending on where I was at, 1,800 to whatever. That's just an estimate. So it could be lower than that, of course. It could be only 10 per second or something like that. But to me, even though it wasn't a fixed object on the ground, the fact that it kept hitting that thing over and over and over again, potentially to me could signify there's an option for it to be damaged further on. If it was a single strike and it sent it off and nothing else happened, then I'd be a lot more going, yeah, probably nothing there.
Well, and you'd have less damage to the prop.
Right.
Prop really tells the whole story too of just how many hits there were.
A lot.
In those brief, about 3 seconds?
So it was about 2 to 3 seconds where I heard the sound. And then, of course, when I landed, it had the final strike. But that was actually on the blade side of the prop. And I can show you that on the prop if you want me to, where exactly it hit, because I found it, yeah. Well, actually, so just a little, this is the actual piece.
Yeah.
So you can see just the deformation that has occurred right here. And that's from the prop just constantly just striking the face of that.
Yeah, so this whole piece was out.
Yeah, and this is where that prop hit the last rotation that hit it and knocked it off clean of the aircraft. That's my guess. I'm not a NTSB investigator or anything, but...
Right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Got it just right. Yeah, we cannot reuse this.
No, we gotta get a new one. So that was really my biggest concern with this whole process. Obviously, I would not want to be dropping 14,000 plus on something that I didn't have to do. Yeah. I wouldn't want to do all this work to pull the engine off and drive 7 hours today to deliver it, the engine and the prop somewhere else.
And say this is much different than, somebody has a bird strike.
Right.
There's a minor nick, on the leading edge, or a couple nicks. A bird flying through the air doesn't weigh much. So in relation to one hit, the engine doesn't, no perceptible slowdown if it's a small bird.
Right.
It doesn't constitute the same.
Correct.
As what took place in this.
And again,
if it hit a flock of birds, that would be a different.
Right, you could have an RPM loss and then it would fall into the AD,
hits.
Or the prop could be damaged to a point where the AD would come into play. Yeah. Like I was saying, my thing is, if this just popped out and got hit once and flung off my aircraft, then it'd probably be a little bit different story. We'd probably have one just minor nick on the prop, and that's that.
Right.
But it was repetitive over and over and over again. It hit this until finally, when I landed, it shot it off. So that was kind of my biggest concern, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
That would make me question if it needs to be pushed out.
Yeah.
So.
And you made the right call. It's a good call.
Well, I'm glad that I made the right call. Otherwise, I wouldn't want to be doing this.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, anyway, we're going to get, he's going to get going back to his shop. I am going to be driving a lot. And y'all see some of that as I drive and deliver the engine and deliver the prop. They're expecting me, so lots of driving to go today. Hopefully my truck can handle it. I'm sure it will. Yeah. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Can you handle it?
We'll find out. Anyway, so we're going to get out of here. And don't forget to like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And appreciate you, Jake, coming out and helping me do this. And
that's good.
I'll see you again soon to put it back on, hopefully.
Can't wait.
In a couple months. right, so the engine has been dropped off at Airworks Aviation here in Bruton, Alabama. Great guys. Got to know them just a little bit, talked to them a little bit about what they do and timelines and things like that, and looking at the insides of the engine, what they're planning to do and things like that. So with all that being said, engine's off, props next. It's sitting shotgun basically with me right now. Because of the time, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get to the prop shop today. That's all right. I'll probably make it tomorrow or the next day, something like that. But what does that mean for, how I'm going to... This is something that, a lot of times maybe people don't talk about on YouTube, which is the actual process of making these videos. It's not as simple as point and click. It's a lot more thought goes into it. It's like, for example, in this situation, am I going to end the video here or just extend it to include the next day to, show the travel up to the prop shot? Does that make sense? Or does it make more sense to, keep it together because, there's not a lot of work in between. So there's just, there's questions you gotta ask yourself in regards to how you're going to develop these videos out. And then you have to shoot them. You have to do audio. Right now I have a lapel mic on, I've got a GoPro pointing at me, and you have to sync up the audio, and there's a whole process to these videos. It's not as simple as point and clicking as much as I wish it was. So with that being said, I'll have to make a determination of what I want to do with this video in regards to, sure it's clear, in regards to how I want to go forward. More than likely, I think the best course of action in this situation would be to go ahead and cut here and then come back, same video, showing the travel to the prop shop. I think that makes more sense than having a separate little segment, video put up throughout the prop. So with that being said, this is kind of like a little intermission of the video, and I want to thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me by watching. And of course, those who like my videos, who hit the like button down below, I appreciate that. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're a subscriber, thank you for subscribing to my channel. It does mean a great deal to me to see the amount of subscribers that I have. I never thought in a million years, to be honest, that I would have 8,000 subscribers. I honestly thought that I would be sitting at 1,000, maybe 1,500, and that was about as far as I would get. But I'm sitting here at 8,000 subscribers, so thank you. So with 8,000 subscribers comes the next goal. What is my next goal? I could set it for 9,000, but I don't think that's where I should set my goal. I think setting your goal too low is a failure. So my goal is 10,000 subscribers. Can I get 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year? Probably absolutely not, but that is my goal. They say shoot for the stars and you'll land on the moon, right? So my goal is before Rosie comes back to life, before she's back flying, I've got 10,000 subscribers. And the only way that's gonna happen is if you help me. So hit that subscribe button down below, bell notification icon so you get notified when another video goes live or when I schedule a live stream. And then invite your friends that are into aviation, that are into engines and propellers and general maintenance of vehicles, restoration of vehicles, because over the next several months, you're gonna see a restoration of Rosie. She's going to look different, she's going to look better, be better in so many different ways that I'm so excited to show you guys over the next several months. So help me to reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by January 1st, 2023. So thanks again for all of your support. It really does mean a lot to me. And finally, before we jump back into me traveling to take the prop to the prop shop, I do want to mention again if you can spare $2 a month. I know it sounds like what's $2 going to do, towards this channel. $2 matters when 20 people do it, right? That's $40. $2 matters when 50 people do it. That's $100. And every dollar that I get from this channel doesn't go to my own pocket. It goes to a separate bank account, and my wife can attest to this. It goes back into a separate bank account that goes right back into this channel, editing, stuff that, you know, is directly associated with this channel. So, with all that being said, I encourage you to become a member here on YouTube, or by going over to mmflightclub.locals.com. A link is in the description down below. For as little as $2 a month, you can help support this channel, keep it going, help me reach my subscriber goal, and go farther. Just keep on going up, right? That's the goal. Don't forget, I'm also over on Rumble. Link is in the description down below. Rumble, if you're watching this on Rumble, you don't have to worry about this part, but if you're watching this on YouTube, Rumble is another video platform that I upload to. I like their plan, I like their goals, and I like their mission. So feel free to go on over to Rumble, create an account. It's free, just like YouTube is. A bunch of videos are over there. A bunch of people that you may know are over there already. So be sure to check me out over on Rumble as well. Thanks again, guys, for watching this video and all my other videos. Now, I'm gonna throw it to my future self for taking the prop to the prop shop. Thanks, past self. So yeah, we're on our way to Bessemer, Alabama today, and we are going to be taking the prop, which is back there. We're taking it up to the prop shop. So let's get on the road, guys, because we got 2.5 hours to drive. So we just dropped off the prop at the shop. They're gonna get working on it as soon as they can. They've got dozens and dozens and dozens of props in there. It was actually kind of cool to see all different kinds of props: 3-bladed props, 4-bladed props, 2-bladed props, fixed pitch, adjustable pitch, and you name it, variable pitch, whatever. Tons of different options that they were working on. So really cool to see all that. So with all that being said, that is the last piece to go out to be worked on. Well, I take that back. Last piece of the engine or prop that's necessary to go out to be worked on. Again, like I've mentioned before, we do have a couple other things we're going to send out for overhauls, specifically the attitude indicator and the DG. Those are very much not nearly as expensive as the two that we just delivered, and we'll ship those to mail actually up to Kansas. So, with all that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up and end it. I appreciate everyone for watching, subscribing, liking this video, everything that I've asked for throughout this whole video process. And don't forget, you can also support me financially over at mmflightclub.locals.com. That helps keep this channel running, like I've told you in the past. Every dollar that goes in goes right back into the channel. My wife can attest to it. We don't see it in our bank accounts as much as we would love to. So again, don't forget to like, subscribe, see you over at Locals. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time in the hangar.